Hello and welcome to Not That This, the pop culture talk show where I interview artists and influencers to find out their fool's gold and hidden gems. Those massively popular things that they hate and those unknown or underrated masterpieces that they love. My name's Geraint Evans and I am your host. Episode 19, and today I'm speaking to Dan Thomas. He's a comedian, a writer, a producer and an award-winning actor. He's also a friend of mine. We've known each other a good while, so this conversation I think feels very familiar, I suppose. Dan's somebody that has some strong opinions about things, especially pop culture, and we virtually never agree. In fact, we get into it about the nature of the spoilers in this episode, to which I should say there's a pretty big spoiler for Breaking Bad today. I think it's been a while, that should be fine, but if you're waiting to catch up for whatever reason, I suppose skip this for a bit. I also don't usually do swearing warnings. They happen every now and again in the show, but usually not that much. But there's a fair amount of swears in this one. Anyway, let's get into it, shall we? Here we go. Hello, Dan. How you doing?
I'm fine. Why are you so chipper?
I have to be. I'm recording a podcast.
Right. Okay.
So we're here in the Edinburgh Festival.
Festival.
The Edinburgh Festival. We're in a little swanky bar in here. So if you hear any background noise, that's what that is.
That's swank you can hear.
That's swank. Yes. That's the one.
Was that swank in the background there? Some swank in the background there.
So Dan, I'm really excited to talk to you up at the festival because you've been comedian for a while now.
12 and a half years, nearly.
12 and a half years, and this is your first time here?
Well, second. I came up in 1986,
Right.
When I was 6, and brought my show then.
Right, yeah.
Didn't win the Perrier. Haven't been back. Fuck him.
No. It's a travesty of justice.
I'll give him another go at this.
But you are the first. You're someone who's reacted to Edinburgh the fastest and the strongest, I think. You've been here for a day, and
Well, I've been here for a week, but I arrived yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm so tired. Yesterday feels like 3. So yesterday was the first day I was in. It feels like 3 days.
You've done 2 gigs.
2 gigs, which were 10 minutes each. I think. Is that it? Yeah, that's all I've done.
Wow.
But I've sat through other people's shows, and that's
tiring,
what really wipes you out.
Yeah. You've got to invest for an hour, right? And that's fine if it's once a week, but you're doing it 4 times a day.
Because as you know, I genuinely loathe stand-up as an art form. So having to sit through this shit all the time.
Just despite being a very good stand-up comedian.
Yeah, I wouldn't listen to me.
I think that's what you need, though, like a healthy disdain for your art form.
Yeah.
You don't just do that, though. You do like everything, right? You produce.
I do odds and ends producery type things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do a spot of acting and a spot of writing.
Yeah. You won several awards.
I won several awards last year
for your acting.
For my acting in awards you wouldn't have heard of. Awards I hadn't heard of until I won them when I received a fax.
That's a nice surprise, isn't it?
I got a certificate from the LA Film Awards and the Hollywood Boulevard Film Festival, which are 2 things I had not heard of before or since.
But they've heard of you, mate.
Yeah. Also, this is the thing. There's a difference from the Oscars with these things, right? If you win the award, which is actually an award,
right,
you got to pay for it. It's like $250. It's like, you know what? I'll just have I'll have the email. I'll frame the email.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
That gives a shock to me. Wow, how do I pick up my award? Well, you send the check. Okay.
I see. So what else have you got going on? You're doing some stuff for Radio Wales at the moment?
I'm doing some stuff for Radio Wales, a documentary about, provisionally called What's Going to Kill Us.
Right.
Which is about, what's going to end humanity. When I pitched it a year ago, that seemed like a lark.
Right, yeah.
Now it's just copying the paper out.
Context is depressing.
Because a year ago, I think I probably pitched it around the time Trump started running.
Right,
and when, I guess, Brexit might have just happened, but it didn't feel like the Western world was coming apart at the seams quite as much as it is now.
Yeah. Donald Trump, where we all thought, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But here we are, in 2017, experiencing the world as it is.
Yes. I mean, he's not going to last, I'll say that. But he's had a go, hasn't he?
He's having a go.
You know what, not enough people are saying this. But I think Donald Trump is a bad president. If I can just put myself, I'm just going to put my hat in the political arena there.
I mean,
I think he's a bit of a prick.
I know this podcast is for controversial opinions, but
I think Brexit's a bad idea.
Do you? Really?
Custard skin is disgusting. I mean, all these opinions I have that are not widely shared by the general public.
Oh dear. So me and Dan have known each other for about 6 years now.
Is that all? Feels longer.
Yeah. Dan was one of the special comedians I was scared to talk to when I first started out.
God.
Yeah, one of those, the what do you call them, the good ones.
Oh, yeah.
Running his own open mic gig.
Yeah, things were going pretty well.
In Arts Centre. Right. So, the concept of this podcast. You've got a couple of ideas in mind, right?
Yeah.
So we'll crack on with your fool's gold. What is out there that is really popular that you cannot stand?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
In all its fucking forms, right? I've seen all the films.
Right.
And they just didn't go in.
Okay.
I remember snapshots from them. I know it's about a magician.
Yeah.
Or something.
I think he's a wizard.
He's a wizard. He's a child thing. And he goes to school, and that's about all I remember. And there's a dude with a nose. But the thing is, it's 8 films.
Yeah.
They get progressively longer. So I've spent well over a day of my life watching this.
Oh, I mean,
and it was all crud.
So I'm absolutely with you on this one.
And we're in Edinburgh.
We are in Edinburgh.
Where it was, I understand. I only said that yesterday because I was walking through some shithouse little alley.
Yeah.
And I think I made a reference, one of the few references I can make from Harry Potter. Isn't it like Diagon Alley? And somebody said, well, that's because it is. Oh, right, okay. Shut the fuck up then.
I was made to watch the Harry Potter film.
Because you were in Guantanamo briefly, weren't you?
Yes, yeah, for a while. But then Barack Obama happened and it was all fine.
Yeah, just going, stop that man watching Harry Potter. It's not humane.
What I found with that, because we did it in the space of 2 days, did all of them, me and my lovely wife.
As opposed to the horrible one.
As opposed to the horrible one, yeah.
You got a harem of the full scale of women.
But what I found with it was, it was like Stockholm Syndrome. Right? Because at the start I was like, oh god, these kids can't act, this is awful, right? And by the end I couldn't tell if they got better at acting or if I was just in that world now. Yeah. Like if I was just, oh yeah, this is fine.
They must have got better. I mean, I don't. It's almost unfair that I should pick on Harry Potter because I don't remember it, but that's the point, isn't it? There's nothing interesting in it for me. Like I know I'm clearly wrong on this. I remember I was in Dublin years ago. One of the last, maybe it was the very last book came out, where people had queued up.
Yeah.
Obviously, I hadn't. And then I went for I was walking through a park in Dublin after that, and literally, it was a lovely summer's day, and literally everyone was sat under trees and stuff reading this massive kids' book.
Yeah.
Kids' book. And it was me with my copy of Francis Fukuyama. Like, come on, guys.
Come on, guys. We can do better than that.
Side note: I never read Francis Fukuyama. Oh, that was dull as well.
But you owned the book.
I owned the book. It was trying to be different from those ponces. It's not just the film. I mean, the film also. I don't remember him looking good. The first one, I remember is it Quidditch? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
That thing looks like a PlayStation game. It's $150 million in a film. It looks like a cutscene. It's shite.
You have very aggressive opinions about Harry Potter. Have you read the actual books?
Oh, I've tried reading the first book a bunch of times. I can't get past page 2.
Right.
And then I tried having Stephen Fry read it to me, the audiobook.
Yeah,
it wasn't his Stockholm Syndrome. I just tied him to a chair and just read it, prick. I hate it.
Is it because it's children's fiction and it's like being blown up by adults essentially, or?
I don't mind that if it was good. I mean, it's just I like this children's entertainment I really like. I've got kids, so I've got to watch more of it, but there's bits of it I like.
Yeah.
So it's not that. I don't mind. I quite like Frozen. I watched it again, so maybe that's Stockholm Syndrome. But there's just, when you see grown-ups at parties who come as Elsa, and it's like, did you just come from a kids' party where you work? No, I just left the outfit. Well, come on, Oliver.
So do your kids like Harry Potter? I mean, they're maybe a bit.
I haven't given. No, they might do when they're old. But my 5-year-old is really cool, so she really likes the old Universal horror movies, like from the 30s.
I feel like you've got a lot to do with that.
Well, I put them on, and she went for it. I mean, it's like you give them what you can. I haven't put Harry Potter on. I tell you what do they really like? My oldest really likes Tomorrowland. I mean,
okay, yeah.
That's kind of.
That's an alright film.
It's an alright film, and I think that's going to become a cult. And we're getting off the point now, but I think that's going to become.
That's fine. We can branch out. I'm not doing that.
I think that's going to be because it wasn't very well reviewed, but I think people have gone to it. And that's quite charming.
Yeah.
And its heart is really in the right place. It just doesn't. It's not great, but its heart's in the right place, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
And everyone in it, it's just one of those things where just all the individual pieces didn't come together to be great. But my kid loves it. Also, I figured out she thinks, because she loves Spy Kids as well.
Right.
And George Clooney's in that.
Okay.
And she refers to him in that as the character name from Tomorrowland. So she thinks all actors just play the one part their entire career, right? Wow. She thinks it's all a shared, like the Clooneyverse, right? And then we watched Into the Woods with Meryl Streep's in that.
Okay, yeah.
But a year ago, her grandparents got her to watch Mamma Mia, and she loves Mamma Mia, but she thinks Into the Woods is a sequel to Mamma Mia. She thinks what happened after Mamma Mia is she just became evil and went to live in the woods. And she, where's Sophie? Well, she's from Mamma Mia. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not
the same thing.
It's not the same thing. What the hell? I'm gonna make her watch Kramer versus Kramer and see if she can explain how that works.
I mean, I feel like she'd really like the golden age of cinema, like because all the actors then they had different names, but they did play the same role.
Yeah. Like she does. She loves Dracula, the original 1931.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she loved that.
But no nightmares. I mean, she's 5, right?
Yeah, she's really quite gothic.
Okay.
So she likes that. She likes, especially this bit where she calls them the vampire princesses, where obviously the vampires come in there. Jonathan Harker's room. She likes quite, and she draws as well. She's really. Everyone says that she's a genius. In a number of ways, she's not, but she is ahead of the curve as an artist. And so she draws really quite Tim Burton-y looking things. She drew this sad balloon that looked like a Tim Burton drawing. It was like, so she does like that kind of gothic-y looking thing.
Yeah, I think you're the most honest father I know. Yeah. Everyone says she's genius. Yeah, in many ways, not.
You should see her driving. It's shocking. She's got no roundabout discipline. She's terrible.
Straight on there.
She's straight on there. She's a fucking menace on the roads. But she's a good little drawer.
So you've got a lot of like sort of white face paint packed away, ready for her when she hits her teens. And
well, she already into makeup, but she likes like sparkly things. She's still quite girly in a number of ways. I tell you something horrible happened. She was really into Spider-Man a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And she would dress up as Spider-Man.
Garfield turned up.
Yeah, she's like, going off this. This is not my Superman. Spider-Man. Hashtag. But and then some kid in school who must be 5, who I want to deck, said to her, "Oh, you can't like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's for boys." And then overnight she didn't play with Spider-Man anymore. She wouldn't watch it. She wouldn't dress up anymore. And so.
That sucks, man.
Isn't that really sucky?
Yeah, because this is the thing. Like, I've got nieces and nephews. Like, it's really hard, from what I can tell, to parent them because you can do what you can at home. Right?
Yeah.
But then, like, when they go out into the world, the stuff that they're like, it's you can't police that.
I know.
Like, and
it's
pop culture is the way that it's done. It's almost like a socialization.
Yeah, they're all weirdly. They're all in Minecraft. That is the thing. So that's really cool. And she's again not a genius in a number of ways, but she's amazing at Minecraft. Like, I used to help her by building little crappy cottages, and then now she's 5.5, and she'll show me like what I built, and it's like it's literally like a hotel that adheres to the rules of architecture. There's like, she builds foundations and things like that, which is not necessary.
No, that's not part of the game.
And it's got like an internal logic. There's a foyer, there's stairs and things, because she watches a YouTube tutorial and she really learns.
Wow, I wish I was 5 again. I find it impossible to learn these days.
Oh, well, Minecraft is fairly easy as long as you've got a guidebook on YouTube.
Yeah, my nephew really loves Minecraft, but he's happy to show it to me. I'm not really allowed to get involved myself.
Oh, she really wants me to build things for it. It's like, you know what? You're way ahead of me now. I can build you 4 walls, but that's it. You're the one building fucking the hotel from The Shining in 20 minutes, brick by brick.
Brilliant.
But she hasn't seen Harry Potter, to answer your question.
Okay, yeah, right, yeah. Is there anything in particular with Harry Potter, like where like you just see it and you're like, what? I mean, I cannot get this.
It's a huge pop culture thing that's made billions, and it's not even one of those things like, I get the appeal, it's just not for me.
Yeah.
I don't get the appeal.
Right, just flat. Like, you never liked things with wizards when you were a kid, or?
No, I don't think so.
No?
Close. I quite like Paul Daniels. Does that count? I used to love Paul Daniels' magic show.
The magician Paul Daniels. I used to love that actually. That was,
Yeah. But I didn't need a 16-hour narrative arc about him.
I mean, that's fair. Very much a different medium, though. I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so is there anything like in like the kids' pop culture that you love, like that you have to sit down, like you into Peppa Pig?
No, Peppa Pig's horrible. There's a show she started watching recently called Miraculous, which is a French CGI superhero show. Have you heard of this? That's pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, again, I'm not going to sit down and watch
it
it.
in French?
No, it's dubbed.
Right, okay. I was like, maybe she is a genius.
Yeah. No, fair is fair. I've been to France and all the kids are speaking it there. Yeah, that's quite good. But I like Moana. I really like Moana. I think that's some of the...
I love Moana. I think that's my favourite new Disney film.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And in fact, I played it for, Phil Cooper.
Yes.
I was doing a gig with him recently, and he didn't know The Rock. First of all, he wasn't really aware of Moana, oddly.
Sorry, can I just explain Phil Cooper to people?
This is key.
Imagine...
A dog in a man's body.
Yes, imagine Harry Potter has turned a dog into a man. That is Phil Cooper.
Can I not a trauma or whatever?
Yeah.
Win a lot. But he was sitting in the back seat, and I played the song "You're Welcome" from Moana, which is the song The Rock sings. And I looked in the rearview mirror of him sitting in the back. And I don't know how to explain his face on radio, but it's just like full of joy. Like you know that shot in Trainspotting where Renton shoots up on that face of serenity. That was Phil's face listening to The Rock rap. And then he just sank into the carpet, and we had to take him to hospital.
Bless his little face. I love Phil to bits. Oh, future president Dwayne Johnson.
It's weird. Because I move in weird circles. Right? So I have a friend who one of her best friends is Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I'm one step removed from Dwayne The Rock Johnson. This is how weird this career is going. I literally came up to the Edinburgh Festival to just have a look around and drink with some friends, and I'm doing a show every day, including one in a nuclear bunker in 2 days, because I bumped into Angela Barnes in this bar yesterday. You want to do a gig in a nuclear bunker? Yeah, fuck it, that's the way the week's going.
Why not?
And I'm like, yeah, no, where are we going? All right, we'll go there. Who are we going with? Dwayne The Rock Johnson, fair enough.
But you love nuclear bunkers as well.
I do love nuclear bunkers and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. But no, really, the Lego movie was quite good.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed the song from that. I didn't think it got the... Like, I didn't think it should have been as big as it was. No. But it's fun. It is fun.
It is fun. I think it's very clever.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I mean, I'm not one of these people who sit... Like, I know people who grown-ups who watch Pokemon. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I am one of those grown-ups, so...
Oh, shit, are you?
Yeah, I mean, not all the time, but now and again, I'll put it... There's a website where you can just watch all of them. They've just got...
You can?
Yeah. And sometimes I'll just put it on the back, like nostalgia, you know?
There's websites where you can watch people stepping on people's nuts wearing high heels. You just don't.
Well, speak for yourself, man. As soon as we're getting into the stuff that we like...
What is it about Pokemon? I don't get it.
I think,
Have you seen the show The Wire?
Yes.
Right, why, if you've seen The Wire, would you ever go, I think I'll now watch Pokemon? I don't know how one human being can like both those things.
I mean, I think because those two things are four different things. Like, I don't think your brain only responds to one different.
Mine responds to quality and think, adult entertainment, not in the sense of porn, although fine. But just Pokemon is about... As I understand it. I forgot. Stefan Allen as well. I don't know if you need to explain him.
No, he did the first one of these.
Right, I was in a car with him, and he started telling me the names of Pokemons, and I bet I can guess one. I bet I can just guess one. And I got it in about 8. I think I figured out this stupid, like Snuffliness or whatever it was. Yeah, that is one, yes.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure that's one, but...
whatever it was, I got it right.
Okay, nice. I'll ask him.
Just Dragon Shot or whatever it was.
Right, okay, so let's move on to your hidden gem. What's out there which is flying under the radar, unknown, or like underrated that you absolutely love?
It's a German movie from last year called Victoria.
Okay.
Which is a 2.5-hour movie, which is a heist movie that takes place in one single shot.
Wow, okay.
With no cuts.
Yeah. So like the old, like, well, not Hitchcock, but that's what he was aiming.
That's what you're trying to do, rope and stuff, but this is legitimately done
very similar. Like,
yeah, but that's trickery as well. This is actually done in one shot. They did 3 takes of it over 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's amazing. It's about it's a girl in a club. It's set in Berlin, and there's a Spanish girl called Victoria who is in a club. She meets a couple of guys. They hang out. It's all done. Obviously, it's got to be in real time. And she starts, they have a bit of a kiss with this guy she meets in a bar, and then something goes wrong, and one of the guy's friends is in trouble with a gangster.
Okay.
And I'm kind of giving away the twist, but the trouble is the first 40 minutes is quite slow, and if you don't know something exciting's coming, you would give up on it.
Yeah.
So after about 40 minutes in, his friend's in trouble with a gangster, and he's got to do a safe deposit box robbery.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you described it as a heist movie. I don't think.
Yeah. Which I still think is giving too much away, but I think it needs it, because after the first 40 minutes is like something better happened, and then it does, but it really is lulling you into a false sense of security. And then, as heist movies have to, it all goes south from there. But it's a 2.5 hour thing, and it's just the orchestration of it. This is on the streets of Berlin. This isn't in a set or anything. This is on the streets of Berlin between.
And that's incredible.
Yeah, between I think it's about 4:30 in the morning and 7 they shot it.
Okay.
It starts off in a club and ends up in an entirely different part of the city. There's a gunfight. There's ambulances and police cars, and it's all got to be timed perfectly. And you can't imagine how they did it. It's planning.
Yeah,
and you really appreciate
so much coordination.
And it's in the take they finally used, because the first 2 takes apparently hadn't been very good. Or there'd been something wrong with it. It just felt flat. And the third one then is the one where it's a lot more energized, but things went wrong. Like there's one part where they were in a car, and the actor driving the car took the wrong turn.
Right.
Which meant there was crew all around.
Yeah.
So the cameraman sitting in the back seat, and he thought, and it works because he just tilts down and points at one of the actors in the back seat, and it sort of goes really cinema. But that's just because he doesn't want to see anything outside the window for a minute, because there'd be a bunch of PAs with headphones going, this way, dickhead. And it's amazing what actors. They're all young actors as well, having to make choices at every second of what they're going to. Because it's largely improvised in terms of what they're going to say, but it's just the characters are all cohesive. That you believe the relationship, considering it happens. These two people kind of mean a lot to each other after half an hour of screen time, which is half an hour of real time, and you buy it because they're so good. There's bits about it when it gets to the gangster bit, you're like, well, everything before that feels so real, and then after that it's like it's kind of a bit early 90s Tarantino wannabe, but you're so. I mean, you can't stop watching it because you.
Right, yeah.
Because even though you know probably nothing goes wrong, but it's like watching a theatre thing.
Yeah.
Well, because I know someone who their mum can't go to the theatre,
right?
Because she feels so anxious that the actors will make a mistake, and she's like she can't go for that reason. and I kind of got this with that film, like what's going to go, and knowing that something did go wrong technically on the day as well. Just makes it so exciting. So I don't think anyone's heard of it. It's on Netflix.
No, I mean, I haven't.
I happen to hear about it on.
Is it in German?
It's actually because she's Spanish and the rest of the cast are German. Their shared language is English, so it's largely in English.
All right.
Which actually was a problem, because they wanted to submit it to the American Academy for Best Foreign Language Film, but there was too much English in it, so it's such a great movie, and it didn't qualify.
Oh, that's such a shame. I mean, that sounds amazing. Like, I'm definitely going to find that on Netflix. I can't get my head around that.
They had to, in order to get funding, he had to do a proper version as well, with cuts, which they shot over about 10 days. Yeah. And he said, this is shit. Because the truth is, it's not, without that propulsive quality to it that you get from the way he's done it, it's just another...
It's just another one of those
films. But, well, I mean, like I say, performances are good, but the story's nothing. It's nothing. And with cuts, it's just another thing, but it's such an exciting thing to watch because of what it is. And also, I mean, I've read about it since, and it's like there was the third take, and the first two were shit, and he only had the budget, because obviously it's a very expensive proposition to shut down streets and hire, police cars and stuff like that. He only had the money to do one last take.
Wow.
And it's all down to that, otherwise the whole thing was a very expensive, millions had been wasted. It's all this stuff you know about it that makes it so exciting to watch.
Yeah. There's so many brilliant sort of indie films on Netflix now, but I read an article recently about how, that's kind of good for the creators, because they get their money back,
Well.
But, they get some money back. But they get lost, because they're not pushed as much as the big thing, and they're just...
I don't think it's not a Netflix film, they've just bought it in. But the thing about, there's so many indie films coming out on Netflix, like a Netflix branded one.
Yeah.
But apart from that, their shows, there's always one of their shows like, oh, you've got to watch this. Feels like every 6 months there's one you've got to watch, like Glow or Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
But with the films, even if it's a Netflix film, there's nothing. They're not particularly well reviewed either. The Netflix. It feels like they are picking up middle of the road stuff quite cheap.
Yeah, I mean, Netflix have a content problem because they started and they were basically the only guys doing it. So they could pick up all these shows like on syndication or whatever and just host them. And now everyone's developing their own streaming services. The market is a lot more crowded. So Netflix has to either buy stuff in, like these indie films where directors are looking to push them out, or create their own stuff. And I think that's the best model. They'll be their own studio, essentially, for them. And, a lot of that stuff is great, but I'm definitely noticing like a downturn in quality on Netflix from the average.
None of their movies have really broken through. And I remember the first one was got a big deal, which was the Idris Elba war movie, Beasts. Oh God, what was that about a warlord?
Beasts of No Nation.
Beasts of No Nation, and that wasn't particularly well reviewed.
Yeah,
it was fine, and there's been a lot of movies like that. I mean, just fine. And Netflix, a year ago, I think everyone was like, "Well, Netflix is the future."
Yeah,
I don't know. No, I mean, they've just what are they, 20 billion in the hole?
Yeah, but they keep chucking money at them.
I know, but they're
so many of these.
But it's on credit. I could do this.
So many of these internet companies, though, are like that. Like, because I write about technology as well, and so many of these companies are valued at this huge range, but actually, then they've never made profit.
No,
and I'm talking a bit like I don't think Amazon have ever made profit officially, anyway.
No. They find a way.
Yeah. They're doing all right. So it's really hard to tell what's dangerous or not for them because technically, like their stock value is still great.
Yeah. I can see them tanking soon.
I mean that would be a real shame because there are some absolute beautiful programs on there that you just won't get anywhere else.
Well, that was Stranger Things. I haven't really loved the show since Breaking Bad until Stranger Things last year.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then actually the last show I watched Larry Sanders. Well, I don't love that much. I can't watch TV. That it feels like too much of a commitment.
Yeah.
So also, I have a theory that if a story's worth telling, you can tell it in 2.5 hours max. Unless it's like Lawrence of Arabia, in which case, you know what? You spend a lot of money carting those sets out of the desert. Let's spend time looking at them.
I mean, I think it's two different things, right? Because you wouldn't say that like about a novel, right? If it's worth telling, I could read it in 4 hours. Like that's not.
No, but I think there's a page count. I think
right. Yeah. Not big into Dostoevsky.
Not huge into Dostoevsky. Not huge into James Joyce. Like fucking Ulysses has got a 100-page segue about wanking. It's like, you know what? Was it worth it?
Probably don't need that, do we?
No.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of TV at the moment. I think we're in the golden age of TV.
There's been things that like Sopranos I loved, Breaking Bad I loved.
Yeah.
But the
I think Sopranos is like the start of it.
Yeah.
For me.
Well,
and The Wire, like those two things.
I think people always cite something like Sopranos, but you go back and what was happening, that long form season-long storytelling.
Yeah.
People go, Sopranos started that. Well, it didn't. You look back at what Seinfeld was doing in sitcoms and Larry Sanders. Those are season-long arcs. And they're very character-driven.
Yeah, I think with sitcoms maybe they don't get the credit they deserve because it's funny, isn't it? So you're right, but I think technology as well is helping because.
Is it?
By which I mean now you can tell those long form arcs, but people don't feel the pressure to have to be at a certain place at a certain time to watch the show, otherwise they're buggered.
Well, I think I don't know. Because social media, the other thing is that things get spoiled for people.
Yeah,
like, I don't like Game of Thrones, and I've given that a go. I don't care for it.
That's fair.
I'm not as angry about it as Harry Potter, but I'm fucking close. Grow up, everyone.
Again,
but
big fan of Game of Thrones.
I watched the first season, and I thought, oh, there we are. I don't care.
Yeah.
It ends on a cliffhanger, sort of.
Yeah.
With the dragons.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I'd even bought a box set, which was the first 2 seasons. I watched the first time, I couldn't give a shit, mate.
I mean, that's fair enough. It's not. The other thing about Game of Thrones is it's a weird show because it's really not as popular as people think it is, but because it's very zeitgeisty.
Yeah,
it's always talked about. I mean, it's still a popular show. But it's like its first couple of seasons, they weren't getting the numbers that Doctor Who got.
I think, that's as well. I think things get people do watch everything in a row. Like,
but I've got a weird perspective on spoilers as well. Like, I don't care. Because my point of view is, well, if they still tell the story well enough, that's going to be fine.
I think that's absolute horseshit. I've heard that argument before.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I really don't care if I know what's coming up.
Why?
It doesn't bother me.
But that's part of the device for a writer, is the surprise.
Yes.
And
yeah,
how
absolutely.
that's deployed.
Yeah,
If that surprise
I'm
is
not
deployed
gonna
by
get an
somebody
entire-
telling you on Facebook it happened, it's not the same.
Yeah, but I'm
There's
not
none
going
of
to get the
craft.
entire episode described to me, am I?
No, but you're getting a major part of a series.
Yeah, but so what? There'll be more.
Maybe.
maybe not. Yeah, but as
think-
long as that is delivered well and acted well, I can appreciate that. And yeah, sure, maybe I'm not having.
I'm trying to- I think-
moment, but
No, because I can't really talk about that spot, but it was because there's something something happens in Breaking Bad. I'm not going to give it away, and I know if I'd known that was going to happen, it's towards the end. If I'd known that was going to happen, it was done so perfectly in the show. If I'd found out he was going to die, I wouldn't have had the actual, genuinely emotional experience I had from in the moment of watching it happen.
yeah, I get that. Like, certainly, I don't think my perspective is right for everything. Like, I think, if you know the twist to Memento or Fight Club before going in, like, it's going to be a lot less of a satisfying experience. But
It's like starting a joke with a punchline.
I think, like, if you're hanging an entire TV series off one twist, then you've written a bad TV series.
No, but it's part of the tapestry of it.
Right, yeah.
And sometimes the twists and the surprises are a major part of it. That's what...
But also, like, the spoiler, the thing that you're talking about with Breaking Bad there, like, I don't think that's a spoiler, I don't think that's a twist. I think that is coming from day one of that show. I think that is always where this ends up.
Yeah, it probably is, but you don't know that.
I think you do.
That's why it's such good writing. I disagree.
Okay.
But the thing about good writing is it's something, a surprise, a really great surprise in any storytelling feels shocking and yet inevitable. And yeah, the thing I'm talking about, I don't know if we're even talking about the same thing that happens.
Okay.
It's not the last episode.
All right, okay.
It's the episode before. I can write it down for you. I'll tell you what, if I say it to you and then we can bleep it out because I really don't want to ruin it for people.
Right, okay, all
it's when his brother-in-law gets shot in the desert.
Oh, right,
I thought,
okay.
Up until the last second,
yeah.
I hoped. It was the hope. I wanted him to be fine. Oh, this is unbleepable now, but I had a hope for something to happen or to not happen, and that was eradicated like that. Yeah. And while it is inevitable, really, dramatically that happened, you still have spent 5 years with that character, and you still hope. Yeah.
I think that's fair. I mean, I don't think we're going to agree on the general idea here, but in principle, there are things that shouldn't be spoiled, but mainly I'm not bothered.
Okay.
I think I'm more interested in the...
There have been times where spoilers have been really stupidly done, like they've kept secrets. It's a secret, and then you find out. I don't give a f-
you had the book all along.
I don't mind spoiling this one. It turns out to be Khan in Star Trek
Oh my God.
Into Darkness,
which
gives a
everyone
fuck?
knew.
Everyone knew, and like it doesn't even make any. It doesn't matter that he's Khan
No,
at all.
it really doesn't.
And it doesn't make sense because Khan is, and I hope I can say this word, a Mexican, and he's not. And Benedict Cumberbatch, I have not checked his genealogy.
No,
he's not that Mexican.
He doesn't seem particularly Mexican. He seems...
But I heard, when I was in the cinema watching it, when he said, "My name is Khan Noonien Sung," and then some prick in the back row just went, a proper nerd went, "Yes!"
Oh.
What are you getting from this?
I think people overinvest.
I think people would have been more sure after, "My name is Nipples Glee." Okay.
Okay, great.
I don't know why you said that's a dramatically, mate. We don't know who's Nipples Glee. Because, by the way, that's the exact same reaction they should have had. They don't know. He goes, "My name is Khan Noonien Sung," and they wrote, like, on all the casting, like, but they've never heard of him. They should go, "Who's that, mate?"
Yeah, all right.
Of the Cheshire Noonien Sons.
Well, I mean, we've got off the point here. Basically, watch Victoria on Netflix.
And don't watch Harry Potter on shit.
Yes, or do.
Oh, do. I mean, do it. You live your lives. That's really the only moral here.
Right, so I'm going to do some quick fire questions now.
Okay.
Very fast answers, or you can explain it. Very few people have been quick on these.
No.
It's just going to be your favourite and your least favourites.
Okay.
A bunch of different things. So, your favourite TV show?
Breaking Bad.
Least favourite?
Star Trek Enterprise.
We are very similar and very different. Favourite movie?
Blade Runner.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Least favourite movie?
Dirty Dancing.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Oh no, you know what? Actually, I don't know. Smurfs, the Lost City or the Lost Village. I just saw that the other week with the kids. Little pieces of shit. That's the worst experience I've ever had in the cinema. It was horrible. Oh, actually, no. I'll tell you what. Worst one. The new Beauty and the Beast.
Oh,
that
really?
is 2.5 hours long. I was like, why is it 2.5 hours long?
Yeah.
It was hot. I was angry. Why have they added a subplot about the plague? Fuck you. Hated it. Hated it.
That's a comprehensive hate there.
Yeah.
Band, musician, whatever.
Oh, Johnny Cash.
Nice. Least favourite?
I mean, there's too many cunts in there. Who can't I listen to? Justin Bieber just drives me up. I couldn't pick one of his songs out of a lineup, but there's something about him that I want to kick to death.
Okay. Not into the baby.
Is that him?
Yeah, that's him.
No, I'm into the get down.
Right, fair enough.
That was my impression of
very well acted.
Yeah. Actually, I don't mean to threaten him. I wouldn't want to spend time in a room. I don't really want to kick Justin Bieber to death.
No, I think that's. I mean, you're a comedian. We'll
okay.
We'll assume that you're playing up.
Yeah. For legal reasons, I don't want to kick him to death.
Superhero?
Batman, I think.
Least favourite?
I don't know. Squirrel Girl. I've heard of her. I don't know anything about her. She could be lovely.
You're also so wrong.
Probably. Do you know what? It just seems like a stupid name.
I mean, I think that's the point of it.
Oh, in that case, it could be amazing.
Right, yeah.
Actually, but I've really gone off Marvel movies recently, so...
Okay.
Anyone coming up?
For any new Marvel
Marvel movies, I really hated the last Captain America Civil War. I quite liked the first one, because it's Indiana Jonesy, but the third one, I hated it.
That's fair. All right, then, lastly, we'll do books. Favourite book?
A series of books, is that right?
Yeah, that's fine.
LA crime writer called Robert Christ, who writes his detective is Elvis Cole.
Okay.
And I love him.
Least favourite?
Well, I'm trying to think.
You don't even have to have gone through it.
I'll tell you, the worst book I ever finished then was a book by a guy called Vince Flynn, which is a Die-Hard rip-off set in the White House before the films were doing it, and it was just...
Right, before White House Down,
which is
amazing.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's really good.
Alright,
yeah.
I didn't watch that one, I watched the other one.
No, there's two, isn't there?
It was Olympus Has Fallen.
Olympus Has Fallen. Yeah, no, the one with Channing Tatum, White House Down.
That's good, is it?
That's good.
Well, I didn't see that, but this, it was just so... just felt like he hadn't done any research, and it's like...
Yeah. And lastly, one more question. This doesn't have to be quick fire, but if someone's going to make the story of your life, what medium would it be in, and what would you call it?
Well, the Dan Thomas story.
The Dan Thomas, just
because I'm not. It just doesn't fuck around with marketing. What am I going to call it? Oh, A Night with Blue Moon. I don't know. Just whatever the hell. Right, it's called the Dan Thomas story, and it would be in just smeared and shit on a wall.
That is both the best and the worst answer I've had to that question. Thank you very much for joining me, Dan.
My pleasure.
I hope you survive the rest of the Fringe.
I'm sure I will. I'm only here for 3 more days. I'll make it.
Wow, so that was Dan. He did survive the Fringe, I feel I should say that. Physically, at least. Mentally, I don't think he'll ever recover. I love Dan and his aggressiveness when he hates something. He's like a weird mix of world-weary and angry and charming, which I suppose is what makes him such a good comedian. He's actually got a Welsh language special coming to TV in January, the 5th, I think, and it'll be up on BBC iPlayer after that with subtitles for you non-Welsh speakers, which is, you know, statistically all of you. Also, the film for which Dan won all those awards is coming to VOD, video on demand, in the new year. It's called Shadow of the Missing. I've seen it and I know I'm biased, but Dan is brilliant in it. If you like this show, you can support it on the website, thatthispod.com. Making the show requires a certain amount of investment of time and money, so if you'd like to support me in my endeavours, that would be very welcome. I've also got some very strong opinions about advertising. I don't like it, I don't want to use it. So if you can help out, that would be great. There's also some silly rewards on the website there that you can earn for donating. If you can't afford that, that's fine. I know that feel. What you can do is share the podcast on social media and in real life with your friends. And if you've got a couple of minutes to spare, popping onto iTunes and giving me a lovely rating would be a great help. The next episode is episode 20. Lovely to get there, and I'm interviewing someone pretty special. Fern Brady. She's a Scottish stand-up comic who you'll know from Russell Howard's Stand Up Central on Comedy Central, 8 out of 10 Cats on Channel 4, and she's done a bunch of stuff for the BBC. Basically, she's brilliant, and when we met up, she bought me a cup of tea. What more can you ask for? Anyway, I'll catch you soon.